Okay, so yeah, so it's the book, page 141.
Mhm.
So sometimes people feel like a little bit burdensome by some Jewish rituals or certain Jewish mitzvahs. They feel like, oh my goodness, like leave me alone, let me do what I want, let me do what I want. There's even people who've grown up religious and they have like this like they call it like religious trauma, I think, or religious baggage, right? You've heard of that, right?
Mhm.
And it's not that they don't believe in God, or they don't believe in Judaism. It's just like all the do this and don't do
Rituals.
that, and da, da,
The
da, do this and
rituals.
do this and don't do this and don't do that. It kind of like, makes them feel a little bit disengaged.
Few shows about that on TV.
Yeah,
We deal
yeah,
with
I'm sure
that.
there is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, okay. So, so the thing is right. So like what, is there a way to always be excited or invigorated about your Judaism? Is there a way to look at all these different rituals and all the do's and the don'ts and not get like kind of burdened by them or feel kind of like, you know, disengaged from Judaism because of it? Um, is there a way we still always serve Hashem with joy? Hi, Sylvia. Um, like I'm sure all of you here, including me, we all know that Judaism isn't true. We all, believe in Hashem and everything, but sometimes certain things are just hard to like always do or follow through, especially the rote, certain things. Okay, you gotta do this, you gotta do this, you gotta do this every day. Boy, I still do this every day, what's it all about? So, what do you think Hashem wants from us, you know, during those moments? Should we just push through? Should we find another way? Should we find some kind of happy medium? What's your thoughts on it? I made the hot water for you. You can like warm it up a little more if you want. That was a little long. Okay, anyone have any thoughts on this? Or should I just continue?
I'm not sure.
Oh, Rabbi wants to say do as much as he can.
Huh?
I had an Orthodox rabbi on Long Island, and he said,
Yeah.
do as much as you can.
Right, but what if something's just like, hard or difficult or like not, just makes you feel like, kind of like drags you down, as opposed to makes you feel like light and excited about your Judaism.
It's hard to know whether we should just do it anyways or whether we shouldn't do it if we don't have the heart or the kavana.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you today is more like what motivation can we build up within ourselves to get us to be a little more excited about it?
That's a good word, the kavana.
Yeah,
that you
yeah,
used.
definitely, yes. Um,
Catherine, kavana.
okay, so the parsha this week, it opens up talking about the bikurim. That is the first fruits that the Jews in Israel had to give to bring to Jerusalem, to the Kohen. And it was a very special, this is.
Oh, this one you're
Yeah, yeah,
drinking
this is,
from it?
yeah, I drink.
Okay.
Use, use
But
it.
this isn't.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Just open, if you just twist it open, it will.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so the first fruits that the farmers brought to the Beis to the temple. They gave it to the Kohen, and then there's a whole process about it. They did this once a year, on Shavuot, and it was a very special moment. And we're going to read about it inside text number 1. Okay. That's Carrie. Go for it. Text number 1, page 142.
Oh, I thought you said 149.
Okay.
142?
Bikurim and the promise to do it again. That's
Yes.
And it will be when you come into the land that God gives you for an inheritance and you possess it and settle in it. You shall take of the first of all the fruit of the ground, which you will bring from your land, which God is giving you, and you shall put them into a basket and go to the place which God will choose to have his name dwell there. And you shall come to the priest who will be serving in those days and say to him, I declare this day to God that I have come to the land that God swore to our fathers to give us. And the priest will take the basket from your hand, laying it before the altar of God.
Okay. So it was a whole process to do the Bikurim, the first fruits. What they, the farmer would be, so first of all, it's done from the 7 species of the land of Israel. So let's say you'd have something growing, and as soon as he would see the buds coming on the tree or on the plant, they would take a ribbon and tie it on that branch. So you know that that's the first ones coming out. So imagine like you worked so hard, you've plowed, you planted, you've done, done all the stuff you need to do to get your, you weeded, pumped, whatever you had to do to like get those fruit going or the food growing, and you finally something comes out. It doesn't go to you, it goes to the Kohen. And then you collect all those first produce and you find a basket. Some people use like a nice silver or gold basket if they have like money, and some people just wove a basket out of like leaves, and or reeds, whatever, and then they would take the whole trek up to Jerusalem, up to Yerushalayim. That could be a few days journey, who knows? And the whole time lugging along, it may have been a small little basket, it might have been a big kind of basket, and they would bring it all the way to Jerusalem to bring it to the Kohen. And then once you gave it over, you made a whole proclamation that you fulfilled Hashem's command. And part of the giving the fruit over to the Kohen was also like you had to say certain words of gratitude, thanking Hashem for like different things, which I think they're going to read it inside. But at the end of it, you would make a proclamation, I fulfilled Hashem's command, and then you ask for a blessing. And when you ask for the blessing, this is the response that it says that Hashem is going to give you. Text number 2. Okay, Sylvia.
This day God is commanding you to fulfill these statutes and ordinances, and you will observe and fulfill them with all your heart and with all your soul.
Okay, so let's see what's the reward? It says you'll observe and fulfill them with all your heart and all your soul. What's going on over here? So let's see what Rashi has to say about it. Okay, Sandy, you want to read it?
Is that's in the
Text 3?
small print?
No, just the English on the right
Again,
there.
I forgot my glasses. Okay.
Text 3.
Yeah. You will observe and fulfill them. A heavenly voice is blessing you. Glasses. You have brought the first fruits today. So will you bring the next year?
That
You
next
bring them
year,
the next
yeah.
year?
So it sounds more like an instruction as opposed to a blessing. Oh, you brought the first fruit today, you're going to bring them the next year too. So what kind of blessing is this? What is this blessing? So does it mean that next year you'll have produce to bring? Is that what the blessing is? Or next year you'll do a mitzvah? Is that what the blessing is? What kind of blessing is this? What do you want Hashem to just bless you? That everything in your life should be good and wonderful and great, right? So what is this all about? Okay, so Rashi is basically not just saying that you'll have harvest again next year, but also that you will fulfill the mitzvah again. But that's kind of an interesting thing to say. Like, how does Hashem know that you're going to for sure fulfill that mitzvah? Does that mean He's telling you, oh, you're not going to have free will? Because you did it this year, you're going to automatically do it next year, and then it takes away the concept of free will. It's like this guarantee that you're going to do this mitzvah next year. So is that a good thing or is it not a good thing? Because you're only supposed to do mitzvahs by choice and not by just not really the word is command, because we're commanded that we choose to do it. But what if we're just it's like we're just doing it because we're roboted, we're automated to do that. So that doesn't make any sense, because Hashem always he always says, people have free choice. So what is going on over here? Okay, so Bat, you want to read this one?
This is a very important point, and it forms the foundation of the Torah and the mitzvah. The Creator does not force people to do good or bad. Everything is left up to them, and they have free choice. Okay, so that's what Maimonides, the Rambam, says. We're not robots. We all have free choice. Or angels. Angels don't have free choice. They just do whatever God commands them to do.
So what is going on here? Text number 4B. Catherine, you okay to read?
Sure. If God were to decree that a person be righteous or wicked, then what purpose would there be for the entire Torah? And how could there be any judgment, any law to punish the wicked or reward the righteous?
Okay, so how is it that this mitzvah of bringing the bikurim, bringing the first fruits, how is it a mitzvah if it seems that Hashem's promising us that we're going to do it again next year? It doesn't seem like we have a choice in the matter, because it says that actually a voice from heaven would come out and say, you're going to bring it next, you're going to do this mitzvah again. So what is going on over here? So obviously Hashem's not taking away our free will. We always have free will. And it's not like we're being forced or anything to do it. This mitzvah of Bikurim is our choice. So what does Rashi really mean when he says you will bring it again next year? Okay? So to understand what the Rashi is saying, we need to look at the Rashi from the previous verse, and that is in text number 5. Michelle, are you okay to read?
Yes, my dear. Are
Hi.
you ready?
Yeah.
This day God is commanding you. Every day you shall regard the commandments as if they are brand new, as though you are just today being commanded regarding them.
Okay, so it says, and today Hashem has commanded you, or is commanding you. So you should be hearing this mitzvah. Oh, you're going to bring it again, because it's like, oh wow, I'm so excited when I bring it again next year. It's like new, it's like fresh, and like you should have an excitement to bring it. So what it's saying here is that we should remember the mitzvah of the bikurim, of the first fruits, every single day. Why? Because I guess I didn't discuss this, but I said we'll get to it. But when they would give the bikurim, when they would give the first fruits, they would give a whole like, gratitude to Hashem. They give a whole speech, and part of that speech was that you're thanking Hashem for like making it to this day. So it starts off with how Jacob was by Lavan, and how Jacob left Lavan's house, and then a text tells about the Jews, how they left Egypt, and how we're showing gratitude to Hashem that he saved us from Lavan, saved us from Egypt, and that he brought us to this land, and now we own our own plot of land. And you give like a whole long speech of how grateful you are to Hashem for bringing you to this day, and you having the ability to bring these first fruits. So Bikurim, the first fruits, is a lesson on gratitude, and we should remember gratitude, being grateful to God every single day of our life. Okay? Now that's really nice and sweet, but there is a much more deeper, a mystical lesson or idea we can learn from this Rashi, from this pasuk, from this idea that we're going to bring the Bikurim again next year. Okay, so that's going to go to text 6a. Second, 6a, and we're going up to Eliot. Hi, Malka. Back to Carrie.
Everything Rashi states contains both a plain and mystical meaning, and they're both true.
Okay, so when we look at a Rashi, the commentary on the Torah, and we read it, there's a very simple explanation there, but then also in it, he has weaved a very deep and mystical explanation. And let us read text 6b. Sylvia.
He brought a story from a great, wondrous Kabbalist. From the overall context, it appears that Rashi wrote his commentary based on the mystical teachings, and there are hidden mysteries in his words.
Okay. So now we're going to look at this deeper mystical meaning of what Rashi is saying, that that the reward that we're going to have for bringing the first fruits this year is going to be the reward will be that we'll bring it next year too. What's it all about? So in mysticism, in Kabbalah, the Bikurim, the first fruits, are akin to the godly soul. We are Hashem's first fruits. We are his first produce, meaning we are special. Okay? So let us read text number 7. Sandy.
Israel is holy to God, the first of his harvest. All who eat them shall be guilty. Evil shall befall them, says God.
Okay, so we're God's first, and anyone who tries to start up with us, they're going to go down the drain in the end, right? He's going to take care of them. So the Kabbalah equates the Bikurim, the first fruits, to the Jewish people. Also, text number 8a. Badia.
Israel is compared to a tree
Oh,
and
sorry, I just knocked you out. Okay, go ahead.
Israel is compared to a tree and to its fruits, as it is written about them. The first of the first fruits of your land you shall bring to the house of God. And thus it is written about Israel. Israel is holy to God, the first of his harvest.
Okay, and 8b, Catherine.
Like the first fruits of the fig tree, so too Israel is the first and choicest of all to the Holy One. Blessed be he.
Okay, so we are the first. Why are the Jews the first fruit? Because it's our soul. Our soul was our first and primary facet of life. Our soul was our first identity. It's our essence, right? So before like our body was created, really our soul was created in heaven. And that soul was the first part of us, the first part of our essence, the first part of our identity. And so that was the first. So we're going to read text number. So the first and primary part of who we are. Bikurim symbolizes the divine inner core. Okay, read about that more now. Text number 9, Michelle.
Sorry,
No problem.
hold on. The concept of Bikurim, first fruits, relates to the root and source of the soul.
Okay, so it's not that we need to remember the actual first fruits that we bring to the Beis HaMikdash, to the Holy Temple every year, but we need to remember who we really are. Every day, we need to remember that really at our essence, we are our soul, and not just our soul, but the essence of our soul. This essence of the root of our soul is we're from Hashem, right? It's a part of God, and we are rooted in godliness. So when we start our day like this, it gives us a boost and an excitement to take on the mitzvahs of the day. So when we wake up and say, first we say Moda Ani, thank you Hashem, and then we say, hey, what's on my agenda today? What am I doing today? Who am I? What am I? Say, wait, it's my soul. My soul's mission is what's important. That's the real part of me. That's my first fruit. That's the first part of me that God created. And it reminds you and it gets you excited to try to do something for your soul. So in Judaism, we always learn that the main thing is the deed. You could think whatever you want, you can have whatever attitude you want, you could want to do something, you don't want to do something, but if you at the end of the day do the mitzvah, that's what really counts. Now the drive for the mitzvah is secondary, but obviously if you have a good drive for the mitzvah, that helps, right? If you kind of don't have the motivation, it's much harder to do the mitzvah. But if you have the motivation and you get excited about it, it makes it easier. So the mitzvah, when you do a mitzvah, you're connecting with your soul. Okay? Your soul is connected with Hashem. Hashem wants you to do certain things. So when you do something that Hashem wants, it makes your soul happy. Hopefully that makes you happy too. Maybe something that we can work on. So it creates a connection. That mitzvah we say also means to connect. It creates a connection between you and God. So your soul feels that reconnect because the soul was like pulled away from heaven, brought down here into a body. It feels foreign here, and then every time you do a mitzvah, it makes the soul feel more at home again. Text number 10. Okay, back to Carrie.
When we talk about doing a mitzvah altruistically, it means to connect the soul with God.
Okay.
Hashem.
Hashem. Yeah. So we do the mitzvah. We really do it for, we really want to do it. It really connects the soul with God. Now we're going to go a little bit deeper here on insight about the soul itself. You ever wonder about your soul? So the soul isn't 2D. It's not just the soul has many levels, it has many expressions. So one part of the soul, when we're born, that part of the soul enters our body and is here with us, with us in our body. And that's a soul that kind of gives us life and character, and it's what animates us, right? But then there's a higher part of the soul. And the higher part of the soul is untouchable. It stays above. It stays actually in heaven. It's one with God. And this part of the soul isn't limited or bound by physicality by the world, by the earth. It's completely surrendered to Hashem. Okay? So that part of the soul has no problem connecting with Hashem. It's just there. It's just there for God. Okay? We're going to read that inside. Let's see what it says here. Text number 11a, Sylvia.
Now it's known that the entire soul as it exists before God does before God does not integrate within the body. Only a radiance, a limited extension of it is what enters and animates the body, while the main part, the root and the source of the soul remains above.
Okay, so what we experience as ourselves is only a glimmer of who we really are. So the core of the soul really remains above, and it's intimately united with Hashem. And we like the soul that's within us is almost like a ray, like a reflection of that. So it's really only like the outer trappings of your real inner core soul, which is with God in heaven. Okay?
So question.
Yes.
Is your soul still alive after you pass on?
Yeah, always.
Yes.
Yes, always. Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
goes up.
Right. So now there's a part that's in your body which goes back up and gets reconnected with the source, or this root part. Yes, definitely.
That's good.
11b, Sandy.
Therefore, the primary task of a person is to connect and bind the soul that is within the body to the soul's source, its higher root.
Okay, so it's not only that we live for our embodied soul by doing mitzvahs, but when we connect with our soul's origin, the soul that's above, that part of the soul is always perfect and always close with Hashem. So when we do mitzvahs, we're affecting that too. And the bikurim, the first fruits, it reflects that spiritual work that we do, that spiritual connecting that we do to Hashem. Because the bikurim, the first fruit, is like the soul's higher dimension, the untouched holy soul, that it's just like the first choicest fruit we brought to the holy temple, to the Beis HaMikdash, the untouched, like deeper root essence of our soul, that is also, it's like untouched, it's pure, and it's at its essence. Okay, text 11. Let's see. Yeah.
This is the idea behind the mitzvah of bringing bikurim, the fruit of the tree, because regarding the souls, it is said, and I will plant it for me in the land.
So just like a tree produces fruit, which are elevated and turned to its source. So like you plant a tree, right? You get the first fruits, you bring them to the Beis HaMikdash, to the Kohen, and those fruit, the whole tree actually gets elevated now because you did that mitzvah with those first fruits. The same thing with our soul. Our soul, is planted here on earth into our bodies, and when we do, the soul wants to feel uplifted, to uplift the physical world, so we do a mitzvah, we connect our soul with Hashem, and it elevates the whole body and the soul that's down here. So the pathway to feeling close to Hashem doesn't start by jumping outside of ourselves. We have to look inside. We have to connect with our own soul, and when we really connect with it, to the essence of our soul, we see that it's really close to Hashem, and Hashem is already there and close to us. We just have to now feel it down here in our lower soul. So we need to connect with our soul. So we sit with yourself a minute. You don't have to be running around and doing this and doing that, but just sit quietly and try to tap into your soul and say, hey, what does my soul really want? Does it want just to eat, drink, and be merry, just to have a good time and fulfill all my desires? Or does my soul do something meaningful? Does my soul want to connect with Hashem? How can I connect with Hashem? What's going to make my soul happy? And try to think of the mitzvahs that you can do to make your soul feel at home, make your soul feel connected to Hashem. So when we remember the Bikurim, the first fruits, every day, it means that your day and everything about it is going to be built around your soul's connection to God, as opposed to just what your body is wanting at the moment.
But I thought that Chag HaBikurim is a Shavuos.
Shavuos, yeah.
Right.
But we're talking, because that's what the Parsha talks about today.
Oh,
This week's Parsha begins with
oh, the
Bikurim.
Parsha
Yeah.
talks about the
Yeah.
Bikurim?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay.
Is that Shavuot?
Shavuot, yeah, Shavuot.
That's
Shavuot. That's when we bring the
Shavuos,
Bikurim,
yeah.
at the beginning of the
We
summer.
could
Yeah.
also call it Chag HaBikurim. So.
Okay. Remind me, I want to share your story, but I want to say in the middle because it's kind of mess up gonna split up the class. So I'll finish the class and remind me to say the story at the end. Okay. So now back to where we spoke about at the beginning. We said, hey, is Rashi saying that Hashem's taking away a free choice, a free will, by saying, oh, you're going to do this mitzvah again next year? No, life is full of choices. Some choices are really hard for us to make, right? Think of one. Plenty, huh? You have a lot
More
of
than
them.
one.
A lot of plenty. Some people have a hard time making decisions or hard time to make a choice. And sometimes you don't even realize that you're choosing something. It's just so automatic. Let's say someone does a nice favor, something really nice to you, and you're just so overwhelmed with gratitude. You just say, thank you, thank you, thank you. And it just comes out. It's automatic. You don't think, oh, did I choose to say thank you to that person? Right? You're doing it thinking. And so does that mean you were forced to say thank you?
No.
Okay. So it's not just automatic. You're not being forced to say thank you, but you really feel like a choice because it's like so. It just takes a split second in your mind to like make that choice because it's just a part of you. So when someone does something really good for you, let's say someone saves your life or the life of someone you love, you're so overwhelmed with gratitude, and it's just normal to just automatically do something or do something in return or give them a hug or whatever it is. It's not really, you don't think of it as a choice, but really it is a choice. You had that choice to do it, but it was so innate with you to do that you automatically do that. So the same with our relationship with Hashem. Our soul naturally wants to say thank you to him, naturally wants to stay connected to him, naturally just wants to do that thing without even thinking. And how do we do that? By doing a mitzvah. When we do a mitzvah, it has our soul do that like kind of automatic response that is still a choice, but it's just an easy choice. Now let's go to text number 12. So I'm just going to read this. When a Jew taps into their soul's natural, passionate love for God, doing a mitzvah feels like the natural thing to do. Okay? Not just like, oh, do I have to do this? So let us go to text number 12. I think we're up to Catherine.
Love is the root of all 248 positive commandments, and everything flows from it. Without love, they don't really have true meaning. The person who truly keeps them is the one who loves God's name and genuinely wants to be close to him. And it's only by fulfilling the 248 commandments that you can truly connect to him.
Okay, so when you allow your soul's passion to run, when you guys sit for a minute, think about your soul, try to connect to your soul, and a mitzvah comes naturally to it, and it just wants to do it. So let that passion of your soul run through your veins, run through your body, tap into your soul, and then doing a mitzvah is easy. So it's sometimes a lot of work to get there. You have to create space for your soul to be able to express itself. But you have to remember that your soul is always connected to Hashem no matter what. But without tapping into it, it's dormant. So it's not like someone saying, oh, I'm bad, I have a bad soul. No, everyone has a great soul. Everyone has a good soul. Everyone is good inside. Everyone is truly good inside. And sometimes it's just so covered up or dormant because you kind of left it for so long, or not you, but somebody, that you just have to work. The work is uncovering that and taking out the outer layers, exposing the soul's passion and love. It's inside, it's really bubbly and exciting and wanting to wake up and connect with Hashem. We just have to make space for it. We just have to open it up. Now, the Alter Rebbe, the first Chabad Rebbe, which I want to mention tonight, is his birthday, the 18th of Elul. It's his birthday, and it's the Baal Shem Tov's birthday. So it's a very special night tonight. Talks about this idea in Tanya. He says, hey, what does a person like who messes up and sins, let's say, right? It's because they're not in tune with the hidden love that's inside them. We just need to wake that up and let that hidden love that's inside our soul flow through us and make Judaism integral and front and center in our life, and it will wake up, it will reveal it. Okay. So
Did you say it's the 18th of Elul today?
tonight?
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. Okay, text number 13, Michelle.
This is what the verse means when it says, for the matter is very near to you, Deuteronomy. At any given moment, it's in a person's hand to push away foolish thoughts and forgetfulness, and to remember and awaken their love for God, a love that's definitely there in their heart without any doubt.
Okay, so once you get to a place where you feel the love and longing for Hashem, you'll be excited to do a mitzvah. Instead of Judaism feeling like heavy and like a burden, you'll feel, it says, be light like an eagle. You'll feel light like an eagle to do those mitzvahs. You'll want to just jump out of your bed and, run to do all the good things you need to do. So when that Jew made that trip to Jerusalem to bring the Bikurim, to bring the first fruits, it sets in motion this whole idea. He brings the first fruit physically and figuratively. He gives it to the Kohen with gratitude and love because it's a work, it's growth. So you have to work a whole year to get those Bikurim, to get those first fruits. You have to take that whole trip, and but because of that love and excitement, and it's the first fruit, it will be something he'll automatically want to do. He'll automatically want to bring it the next year because the whole year he worked on it. It's not like he's forced. It is free choice, but it's just an easy choice for him. And Hashem's saying, oh, you're for sure going to want to do it next year. You're going to do this mitzvah. Why? Because you're going to be so excited to do it. It's going to be fun and exciting for you, and you'll have the passion to fulfill this. And the same thing with us in our life and the figurative bikurim that we talk about. Let's read the next text. Back to Carrie. Text number 14.
14. Based on the explanation above that the concept of bikurim is really about the essence of the soul, it all makes sense. Since a blessing is related to awakening the essence of the soul, it's not at all a contradiction to human free choice. On the contrary, from the essence of the soul, the true choice is choosing life. It's also clear in the simple sense. The basic meaning of bringing bikurim is to express gratitude to Hashem, and this comes from the fact that a person isn't ungrateful, as Rashi explains earlier. Since a person's nature isn't to be ungrateful, they will naturally want to bring bikurim again.
Okay, so Judaism is our life. We all want life. And the Torah said that Judaism is our life. We all want life. So we do what the Torah wants, and that keeps us alive in a physical and spiritual sense. So now we're going to go back to how we started the class, and we said sometimes you believe or you know something to be right and true, but to actually follow through with it is very hard. Especially if it seems like hard or burdensome or just like something you do by rote. So start to think, what does Hashem want? How does he want you to push through? So when we remember, we start again. We go back to our soul. We remember deep within us the soul, and the soul wants it. The soul is our essence. The soul wants us to do it. The soul is our first identity. So we need to look inside of us. And one of the best ways to do it is take the time and study, learn Torah, learn about the soul, meditate, contemplate of what you learned, what we learned in this class. And then it helps us. It helps us give us that motivation, that extra passion to do what Hashem wants us to do. And we're going to read this in the previous Chabad Rebbe's words, text number 15. Sylvia.
It says, conclusion, you're motivated and you don't even know it. Here a person takes a moment to reflect on their soul. How could they give their whole self to something that has no substance at all? And yet, they completely forget the true purpose behind the soul's descent into this world. This forgetfulness is just a result of the spirit of insanity that covers up the truth. The person's task then is to turn their insanity around. They need to stand firm, set aside times for Torah, and then I will dwell among them. God will shine a light of divine revelation in their soul.
So it seems like it might be a challenge, right? It's not always so easy to get so excited and motivated, remember your soul and what your soul really wants and all that. So it is maybe a long, short path, but the path that it brings you to a fresh reservoir of energy, of new energy. And once you do this, you find the Bikurim, the essence of who you are, and you have arrived at your personal holy temple within us, right? So it's a holy temple within us. We each a holy temple. So when you when you bring your own first fruits, when you remember that, hey, this is exciting, I want to show gratitude to Hashem, I want to connect to Hashem because that's what my soul wants, you're kind of uplifting your whole essence, your whole body. And I wanted to share with you a story and then a cute little video. So the story takes place, starts off in the 1930s in Poland. There was a man, we'll call him Herschel, and he tries to make a living, and as the stories all go, he has a really difficult time, and his wife and his children, they're hungry, and they need things, and he just can't make it. So someone says, hey, why don't you go to the new country, to America? There, the streets are paved with gold, and right? And you're able
The
to
trees.
the streets,
The
right?
streets and the trees.
And you'll be able to make a living, and then you could, go back to your family. You'll have what to live on. The dollar's worth a lot more than the, I know, zlotys. What do they have in Poland over there? Anyway, so he says, I don't know. I don't know if I can leave my family. I don't know if, it's a golden country, but also it's a difficult country, spiritually. And he figures he'll, pray over the holidays. There was a time of Rosh Hashanah and Kippur. Pray over the holidays, and then they'll see maybe God will give him a salvation. He won't have to go to America, but alas, he prays over Rosh Hashanah. He prays over Kippur. He kind of staggers on until it's Hanukkah time, and still nothing. His family is in poverty, and they need money, and so he finally goes on the ship, makes it across the ocean, and on the ship there was a few other religious passengers. And they said, you know what? We know that America is spiritually not a good place for religious people. We're going to make a pact on this ship that we're all going to stay true to our beliefs. And in 1 year, we'll come back to the dock together, and we'll come back home, and we'll also be religious. Not an easy pact to make. They don't really know because they weren't even there yet. But we know that most of the people that came to America did not stay religious. Anyway, so he comes to America. All the other guys in this group, they all find work, but guess what? Herschel doesn't find any work. And he tries this and he tries that. Finally, he gets an offer. There's a guy who's opening up a furniture store, and Herschel, I guess, was very handy. And he said, I'll pay for everything. I'll be the silent partner. I'll set up the business. You do the work and you do the selling. And Herschel says, okay. And Herschel gets to work. He makes the furniture. He's the salesman, he sells it, people come, and they split the profits 50-50. Everything's going well, and he's so excited. I'm making some money. I'll be able to bring it to my family. I'll be able to go back home, with pride and not shamefaced, and my family will be able to live well. And after 11 months, he gets terrible news. His father died back in Poland. And he can't even go home for the Shiva. It takes too long on the boat. He has to sit Shiva all alone in America by himself. And during the week, people are coming, a few people we know come and visit him. And his silent partner comes to visit him too, his business partner. And the business partner comes and said, I need you to sign some loan over here for a loan. Sign this paper for a loan to, keep the business going. Can you please sign here? And he's not thinking, and he doesn't know English so well to be able to read that contract. And he just signs it, and that's it.
That's it.
He trusts his business partner, and that's
There
it.
he goes, the 50%.
After Shiva, he goes back to the store, and what does he find? The whole store is closed up and emptied out.
Sold it.
And his partner's nowhere to be seen. He goes to the bank, and he finds out the papers he signed weren't for a loan, but they transferred everything over to the business partner, and now he's left with nothing. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
frustrating.
little
Poor
kind of things. Okay.
Oh.
And it's terrible. He's like, how am I gonna, what can I do? How am I gonna go on? All my dignity, my pride, all my hard work, everything. I left my family for so long. Wasn't really all worth it. And he just feels terrible. It feels like a failure. So he stays in bed for days. He can't get out of bed. He's just so depressed. But he keeps thinking, you know what? There's a reason Hashem wants me, like there's something for good. I lost this for a good reason. And eventually he gets the strength to get out of bed. And he says, I'm gonna go walk by that old store that I, did the business at. And as he walks by, he sees somebody he recognizes as a former client, and the client says, "Hey, I need some furnishings for my new property. But I came into the store. The store is all closed down." And Herschel says, "Yeah, you know what? I can do it for you." Gave him a big enough, let's call it a big enough contract of what he wanted. He's able to rent a little storefront and start to work again. Clients start coming back, but now it was all on him. He didn't have no silent business partner.
Yeah.
And he goes to the bank for a loan, but the bank wouldn't give him a loan because he wasn't a citizen.
my flyer. Flyer.
He couldn't get the loan. So he said, you know what? You need to get citizenship and we'll give you the loan. So what did he do? I was like, if you get citizenship, if you promise to study for your citizenship, we'll give you the loan, but we need to see proof. We need to see that, you become a citizen by this and this, time. So what does he do? Every night after work, he studies. He, to become a citizen, and during the day, he's working at his at the job, making some money. And and Baruch Hashem, business goes well, all the money goes to him. He's able to pay back the loan or whatever it is. And finally, it's time for him to go back to Poland. So now he's a US citizen, and he has the money, and it's the year of 1939. And he returns home, and his family's so happy, and he's so happy to see his wife and children again. And obviously, we know what happened in 1939. Soon after that, Nazis invade Poland. Jews are scrambling to flee. Everyone's trying to get out, but countries are closed. The U.S. only allows a certain amount of people, right? The other countries have quotas. No one has the right papers, but he's a citizen. He's able to bring his whole family escape out of the infern in
This is a true story?
Yes, out of the infern in Poland, and all those things that happened to him, his hardships, the loss, how he lost the business to his partner, forced him to become a U.S. citizen, and now he was able to save his whole entire family.
That's really nice.
Now I just wanted to share one more thing.
Talking about Poland.
That's a story, boy.
Hi, Eileen.
Hi, sorry, I was helping my daughter.
No problem.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Okay. I'm gonna turn this around so everyone could see it. It's a cute. I think I've shown this before, but it's a cute little thing. So it doesn't hurt to show it again before Rosh Hashanah, and a little bit connected to what we discussed about the neshama sometimes being asleep. 1, 2, 3, go. You guys hear it, right? Oh. Fanya, you hear it? Just put your thumb up.
This is the story of a little neshama that was sent down into the world to do lots of mitzvahs, learn lots of Torah, and help other neshamas. To do stuff, the neshama had to dress up in a body. Sometimes the body helped the neshama. Sometimes the body didn't want to help. When the body grew bigger, told the neshama to leave it alone. The neshama was sad and cried, but the body didn't listen. And so, after a while, the neshama just fell asleep. Without a neshama nudging it, the body started getting into big trouble. It didn't like trouble, but without a neshama, it just couldn't get out of there. Then one day, the body walked by a show and heard a shofar. It sounded like a baby crying. The body stopped, and a tear fell down its cheek. Something inside it started moving. It was the neshama. The body was so glad to have the neshama back. Together, they did lots of mitzvahs, learned lots of Torah, helped other neshamas, and made the world a beautiful place the way it's supposed to be.
That's so cute.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's so sweet.
Yeah. It's a goodie, but oldie but goodie.